Hey everyone, so now that we are halfway through the year, I wanted to share all of my favorite products of 2023 so far. I did do a drugstore version of this video a few weeks ago, but today I want to focus on high-end favorites, products that I truly think are worth the splurge, and these just make such a difference in my makeup routine. I cannot get enough of them. I feel like I have to consciously decide to put them away and reach for something else because otherwise I would be using these all the time. They're that good. A lot of these products launched in 2023, so they are new releases for this year, but some of them are a little bit older, but I tried them for the first time in 2023. I kind of have a mix, but either way, these are high-end makeup products that I love, and I think they are the best products I've tried this year. So I can't wait to see what the second half of 2023 holds because there have been so many good launches so far. I do want to say thank you to Dermatica for sponsoring this portion of today's video. I've seen such great results since using this formula. If you haven't heard of Dermatica, they offer personalized skincare formulas, and they are tailored toward your specific skincare goals and needs, and they use science-backed ingredients. So you let Dermatica know a little bit about your specific skincare concerns, like whether you have acne or you're interested in anti-aging ingredients, if your skin is oily or dry, and whether or not it's sensitive or there are certain ingredients that don't work for your skin. You also share some photos of your skin, and then their dermatology team will actually create a personalized formula that is capable of targeting multiple concerns at once. I was really interested in trying Dermatica because I've always loved the idea of personalized skincare. Everyone's needs and concerns are a little bit different, and even when it comes down to you as an individual, your skin can change so much. My skin has kind of been all over the place for the past year. Sometimes it's oily, sometimes it's dry. It's always really sensitive though. So sometimes I'm not sure which products or ingredients to use on my skin at any given point in time. So I love that Dermatica kind of takes the guesswork out of that and they can create a formula that works for me, but I can also contact their team and let them know if my skin changes and they can adjust my formula too. So after washing my face at night and letting it fully dry, I apply this formula and it's very gentle. My skin, like I said, is very sensitive. So when I took the initial quiz, I made sure to mention that. And I've tried other over-the-counter treatments and ended up with really painful or unpleasant side effects, but my skin doesn't feel irritated when I use this at all. It goes on so nicely. A few things I've noticed, my skin is very smooth. I usually have a lot of texture on my cheeks and even on my forehead, and I was looking at a screenshot from a video that I filmed before using this product, and you can see the texture on my cheeks and the redness on my forehead, and it has diminished so much over the past month. My formula contains azelaic acid and tretinoin. I've heard such great things about both of those ingredients and just their benefits, and I felt like they would be really great options for my skin type, but again, I wasn't sure how to incorporate them into my routine, and after using this formula, I've definitely noticed the benefits. Overall, my skin is so much less red. It just looks more calm in general. The hyperpigmentation around my chin has faded so much, and my skin is just really smooth and even. When I apply makeup products on top, I'm not seeing like that patchiness and those dry areas and a lot of that texture I was dealing with before trying this formula. I also feel like if I would have tried to incorporate those ingredients on my own, I would have experienced some sensitivity because I wasn't sure how much to start with and when to incorporate them into my routine. So the fact that they're built into my custom formula has made such a difference because it goes on so nicely and I haven't experienced any sensitivity. If you use the code Andrea10, you can actually get your first month of Dermatica completely free and then 10% off your second month, which is an amazing deal. I think you'll really love Dermatica. Everything from like the initial personalized sign up experience to the fact that you can check in with their team and they can adjust your formula as your skincare goals and needs change is amazing. So again, you can follow the link below and use the code Andrea10 to start your skincare journey with Dermatica. I think you'll love it. Okay, so let me start with a few products that are a little bit newer to my collection, but they're so good that I knew I wanted to include them in today's video. I've thoroughly tested them out, and I will say I was kind of choosy about which products to include in today's video. I've tested a lot of products during the first 6 months, and there were some that I loved that I almost included, but I truly wanted to include like the best of the best, the top tier products. So I did narrow it down. So this is the Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil from Makeup by Mario. I have the shade Barely Blushing. I am wearing this today. I have a couple of different blushes on because I feel like I was just trying to throw everything on my face because I love all of these products. But I do have a video testing this out as well as most of these products. So I'll link some related videos in the description. But this goes on flawlessly. It is so beautiful. It's perfect for really natural makeup days. But even if you're wearing a lot of makeup, this still looks so good on the skin. It gives you this gorgeous lit from within glow. I feel like this is my dream cream blush formula because it is so easy to use. And it's it's hard to go overboard with this product. I do have the lightest shade, so if you purchase a deeper shade, that might not be the case, and you might be able to build it up to look pretty intense on the cheeks. But typically I do like a softer blushed effect rather than something over the top. So I think that's why I like this product so much. I didn't like their blush sticks. I purchased a shade during the last VIB sale. I didn't like that as much, and I think it's because it's a little bit too intense for my makeup preferences, but this is so soft and natural, so glowy and dewy. It's absolutely gorgeous. I cannot get enough of it. I will say this is not necessarily the most long-lasting cream blush. If you're looking for something that stays in place all day long, you might want to go with the actual blush sticks or like the LYS formula. But I do think that this is the prettiest option, especially for summer if you just want like that super dewy, gorgeous look. I love it. I do want to purchase another shade, but I'll probably hold off until like the next VIB sale. Another product that's a little bit newer to my collection is the Natasha Denona Hy-Glam Concealer. Initially, I was not going to pick this up because I do have a lot of concealers I love, but I feel like I heard so many people raving about it, just saying it was like the most amazing concealer they ever tried. And sometimes when that's the case, I feel like you have this expectation in your mind and it's hard for a product to live up to that. I'm happy to say this concealer met those expectations. It probably exceeded them a little bit. This concealer has really great coverage. Sometimes I'll just take this and I won't even have to dip back into it multiple times. I'll just pull it out of the tube and spot conceal and blend it out. And it actually looks like I'm wearing foundation. And then I'll just set it with powder and it wears really well throughout the day, but it looks so natural on the skin. It doesn't look heavy like some other full coverage concealers can tend to look. And you can sheer it out a little bit, or you can always go in with less product. But I personally like the fact that it has nice coverage because it's very smooth on the skin. It's almost undetectable. Again, it just looks really natural, which I find strange for a concealer that has such great coverage. The applicator is more like triangular shaped and it's just bent perfectly. And that makes the difference. It's the little things. And again, like the soft touch cap, everything about this is so good. So I'll stop raving about it, but this is definitely one of my favorite purchases of the year so far. I actually do have another concealer that I love. I can't remember when I first tried this one. I think it was like the very beginning of the year, but I also love this one, the Urban Decay Stay Naked Quickie Concealer. This is a little bit of a different formula. I would say it's definitely thinner than the Natasha Denona formula and more hydrating. It does sheer out a little bit more as you're blending it out. I do find that it's very long wearing. And again, I like using this one as like an all over spot concealer if I want to skip foundation. I wasn't doing that for a while, but now that the warmer weather is here, I will do that on days where I don't want to wear like a full face of makeup. And both of these are great. If I need a little extra coverage, I'll go for Natasha Denona. But if I want like a thinner formula that I can really blend out, I'll go for Urban Decay. I don't know what I would consider to be like my top makeup product of the year so far because we're only 6 months in, but I feel like the Rare Beauty highlighters are probably going to be like within my top three. I did not buy these when they initially launched, but again, I saw so many people raving about them that I finally decided to try them out. And to be fair, I was kind of on the hunt for like a new go-to highlighter formula. My favorite for like the past, I don't even know, like 7 or 8 years has been the Becca highlighters. Have they been around that long? I feel like they have. Ever since Becca launched their highlighters, that has been my go-to formula. And I don't know, I like that formula, but I was kind of just wanting like a little bit of an updated formula. I feel like makeup products continue to improve so much year after year. So I knew there had to be a formula out there that I would like better than that one. And it's the Rare Beauty formula. These are so gorgeous. I actually ended up purchasing 3 different shades. The only con about these is they are so soft. I traveled with one of these and I didn't have any issue with it breaking. It's still intact, but I was going through like my makeup, organizing it for this video, and I picked it up and I dropped it like I was maybe 4 inches from the ground because I was actually sitting on the floor and like moving it from one tray to another. And I dropped it from like this high off the ground and it completely shattered. It was the shade, what's the name of that one? Enlighten, which is like the light pearly shade. I have a tiny bit left, so I'm still going to use it as like an inner corner highlight. And you know, a little bit goes a long way, but I will say the powder itself seems to be very soft. And then later that day, which is so weird, but I saw an Instagram reel of someone who said theirs shattered too. So just something to keep in mind, but the actual powder is so gorgeous on the skin. Someone said this, and I always repeat it, but it gives the effect of a liquid highlighter, but you get an actual powder formula. It just gives you that glow that only a liquid typically can. There's something about liquid highlighters that I don't typically find that I can achieve with a powder except for this formula. It's so seamless. I actually have this one on today. This one is Mesmerize, which is like the pinky toned one. My favorite is probably the shade Exhilarate, which is this gold. And I just wear them so much. Like since discovering these, I've really neglected pretty much all of my other powder highlighters. Actually, another rare beauty product that I did not purchase right away that I ended up buying, I don't think this actually came out in 2023. It might be a little bit older than that, is this lip liner. This is the Kind Words matte lip liner. I grabbed the shade Talented. So I have this on today with a little bit of gloss on top that I'll talk about in just a second. But typically, I'm not like a high-end lip liner fan. I will say Rare Beauty's lip liners are more reasonably priced. These are $15, but there are so many great options at the drugstore that are under 5 that I don't typically even look at lip liners at Sephora. It glides on so nicely and it stays in place really, really well. So I do find that when I wear lipstick on top, it locks that lipstick into place, which is typically what I look for in a lip liner, but I also love when they're just really smooth and they glide on easily. I also like the fact that this is retractable, so you don't have to worry about sharpening it because that is something I don't know why I hate sharpening my lip liners and my eyeliners. Obviously, I'll do it because I have a lot of lip liners that need to be sharpened, but the fact that this one is retractable is just kind of like an added bonus. So I really enjoy this product. On top of this, I'm wearing a little bit of the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Gloss, and this one is in the shade, where's the shade? Rosy Outlook. I actually got this mini as part of a Sephora favorite set, but initially I purchased this shade, which is called Cherry Vanilla, and I cannot stop using this. I feel like I'm flying through this product so quickly. I asked you guys on Instagram if that's the case for you too. I couldn't tell if it was just that I was using it so often or if it is a product that you just kind of go through more quickly. It just gives your lips the most beautiful, like smooth, plump, glossy finish. And I feel like it does stay in place pretty well because it is a little bit of a thicker formula. And there are so many gorgeous shades online. I will say that these are a little bit more sheer than I thought they were going to be. Like when I saw this online, I thought it was going to have a little bit more pigment. And I typically do like a very sheer gloss, and I find that I can use this a ton. Like I can just wear a little bit of lip liner underneath, wear it on its own, wear it over lipstick, which is really nice. But I almost wish it was just slightly more pigmented to get like that full-on juicy red lip. But the actual formula is gorgeous. And I do think, again, these are worth the hype. I'm glad that I tried them out. Let me share a few products that actually really surprised me. I guess I didn't expect to like these as much as I do, but I cannot get enough of them. So Too Faced really shocked me with these blushes. These are the Cloud Crush Blurring Blushes. When I first tried them, I don't know, I felt like it looked okay on the skin, but I was also testing out a few other products and I feel like I wasn't sold on it. I think I did like a first impressions. And then I continued to wear it off camera. And the first time I saw my skin in like full on natural daylight, like in the car, that's always the test. Like, does it look good when you're in the car? Because sometimes you're doing your makeup and you think you look amazing, and then you see yourself in the car mirror and you're like, that looks terrible. Anyway, I love using this product if I'm dealing with a lot of texture because it just completely smooths over my skin. And it gives the similar, you know what it reminds me of? I just thought of this. It gives a very similar effect that the Too Faced peach powder used to give to my skin. That was my favorite powder of all time. It just gave like the most beautiful, smooth, blurred finish. And I feel like whatever they used in that, I feel like they have to use that in these blushes because again, they just give your skin like that beautiful smooth finish. Typically, I'm not the biggest fan of matte blushes these days, but these always look amazing on the skin and they completely change my mind about matte blushes every single time I wear them. So I love these. I think they're gorgeous. And Too Faced isn't a brand that I typically think of when I think of cheek products, but I think they did an amazing job with these blushes. Another product that surprised me that I almost didn't want to love as much as I do is this product from Kosas. It's the DreamBeam Comfy Smooth Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 40. So I recently did a video on like products I no longer buy. I incorporated lifestyle products, makeup, beauty, everything. And I told you that I just don't buy expensive sunscreens. There are so many good, affordable sunscreens. I have a ton of favorites. But after trying this one, like I do truly love this formula. And I feel like from time to time, I might splurge on it. It's not something I wear every single day because it is expensive. But typically, if I'm skipping makeup, I like to wear this product because it almost gives my skin, again, like that smooth, blurred appearance, but of course, I'm protecting my skin. I wear sunscreen every single day. That is something I've really committed to in 2023. And I've just been looking for formulas I love. And again, there are so many great affordable options, but this Kosas formula does feel really good on the skin and look really good on the skin. I actually brought this with me to the beach. It was just the one that I pulled out of my bag because when we were traveling, I threw in like 4 different sunscreens and I was reapplying it. And my mom and my sister are like, "What are you putting on your face?" They thought I was just applying makeup. And I'm like, "No, it's a sunscreen." But they couldn't get over the fact that it just looked so good because it has a little bit of a tint to it. And they say that tint is meant to counteract the white cast a lot of sunscreens can give, but I also think it does work to kind of smooth and even out my skin a little bit too. Every time I wear it, I love the way it looks, the way my skin feels. And again, it's important to protect your skin. So if you can find a formula that you enjoy applying, that's the key. Another product that surprised me is this one from Rare Beauty because I really hadn't tried anything like this. And I feel like typically I'll just go in with a concealer, not necessarily like a brightener or a corrector. I know there are a ton of different options these days, but I do find myself reaching for this one quite a bit on very natural makeup days because sometimes if I skip foundation and I spot conceal, I won't always spot conceal under my eyes. And something like this is nice because it doesn't add a lot of coverage, but it really works to brighten up the under eyes and just make you look more awake. It's a very low maintenance product. Like it wears well throughout the day and it does crease because again, I have fine lines under my eyes, but it's the type of product that you can just like tap back in with your finger and you don't have to worry about it. Whereas with a concealer, sometimes I feel like my skin ends up looking so oily and maybe it settles or it looks heavy or cakey. And that's just not the case with this one because it is so light and so pretty on the skin. A few more lip products. LYS Beauty launched new lipsticks near the beginning of the year. And I don't buy a lot of lipsticks these days. I usually buy a lot of lip gloss and I just wear it with lip liner. But this caught my eye because I do love LYS Beauty. So pretty much anytime they launch something, I want to try it out. And I'm glad I bought this because I love this. It's their Moisture Matte Lipstick. I have the shade Dreamer. First of all, this is the cutest lipstick I own. Like I just want to put it in my purse so I can pull it out and reapply it all the time. I don't typically do that because I don't usually carry a lot of lipstick with me, but if I did, this would be my go-to just for the fact that the packaging is so cute. No matter how cute the packaging is, if the product sucks, like I'm not going to keep it in my collection, but that's not the case with this one. This formula is beautiful. It's so creamy, so incredibly comfortable on the lips, and it has amazing pigmentation, like one swipe pigmentation. So I love wearing this one. I think it is such a gorgeous, just beautiful, all around amazing formula. I actually don't have anything bad to say about this. The last lip product is something that was not launched in 2023. It came out last summer, but it sold out so fast. And like every time they restocked it, it sold out again because it was just going viral. And I wanted this specific shade. So I was waiting for it to come back in stock and it kept selling out. I finally got my hands on it. It is the Fenty Poutsicle in the shade Berry Banger. I think this is the best glossy lip stain formula I've tried. This has the most gorgeous, intense color. So right off the bat, it is beautiful. It's rich and gorgeous, so glossy. And then as that gloss wears off, you're left with a really intense stain. I think the issue with a lot of glossy lip stains is once that glossy layer wears off, the stain kind of looks patchy or it fades fast or it's very drying. This is very comfortable to wear. It is incredibly moisturizing. And I think part of it comes down to the color, like the fact that the stain is so intense. This one's a little bit more expensive than other glossy lip stains, but in my opinion, it's worth it because it actually wears all day long. So this is something I wanted to mention in today's video as well. Actually, I'm just looking through my list and I do have one more lip product, but for some reason I cannot find it anywhere. I feel like it's in a random purse because I started carrying purses again. For a long time, I just didn't have them because I just brought like my son's diaper bag everywhere. And I was like, okay, it is time for me to have like my own bag, my own purse. Anyway, that's been great, but I feel like I'm losing a lot of my favorite lip glosses because if I switch my purse, I feel like sometimes a lip gloss gets like lost in there. So the Colé Lip Oil Lip Treatment is amazing. This is one that I wanted to mention. So they have 4 shades. They recently came out with like a 5th shimmery shade, which looks gorgeous. And I can't remember the exact name of the shade that I have, but it was like the bright pink one. I'll put a picture for you on the screen because I cannot find mine. I know it's somewhere because I just wore it not too long ago, but this is a gorgeous formula. They kind of market it as like a lip oil, lip gloss treatment all in one. And I would consider it to be more of like a true lip gloss rather than like a thin lip oil. But I love it because it is incredibly thick, very hydrating. It stays in place so well and gives your lips like the most juicy, beautiful, glossy shine. I think Ami Colé is like a new brand of Sephora in 2023. They might have come like 2022, late 2022, but at this point I've tried like 3 or 4 products from the brand and I loved them all. So I feel like they're going to be another one of my favorites. It's a Black-owned beauty brand. They're cruelty-free. Their products are a little bit more affordable, and I've loved everything I've tried. So definitely a brand that I will be continuing to purchase from throughout the year. So I can't wait to see what else they have in store. Glossier also launched at Sephora in 2023. They've been around for a while, but they weren't available at Sephora until this year. So the first product I picked up, and actually, I guess this is the only product I've still tried from the brand, is the Boy Brow, just because I heard people raving about this product for years and years, and I finally tried it out, and I love it. I used mine up fully. I actually just recently repurchased it because I used mine up completely, and it's such a good brow gel. It's a really nice volumizing formula. So I know I always say this, but I do have really thin brows. So I'm always looking for something to actually add volume and texture to my brows and not just lock them into place. And I think this one does such a great job at giving you like that full fluffy look, but because it's also really pigmented, it just makes your brows look a little bit darker, more defined. Obviously, depending on like which shade you go for, but I have the shade brown. I love everything about this, and it did take me a while to get through it. I feel like it's almost a little bit better once it dries out because it is a very wet brow gel. In 2022, I didn't have the best luck with Haus Labs. I guess I only tried 3 products, but I didn't like the bronzer, I didn't like the highlighter, I did like the foundation, which was really nice. So after finding that I did like the foundation, I decided to try their powder because I thought maybe their complexion products were better for me than their cheek products. And I do find that to be the case because I love their Bio Blurring Loose Setting Powder. This is the perfect powder to use alongside of cream products. I love a good intense matte powder, something that actually locks my makeup into place all day long, like the Huda Beauty powder. But I do find that sometimes the Huda Beauty powder is not ideal to wear on top of cream products because it almost erases any sort of like glow or dewiness the cream gives you. And I feel like the Haus Labs powder is so lightweight and so natural on the skin that it allows that dewiness to kind of shine through. So if I am wearing creams like the Makeup by Mario blush, I'll kind of pair it with the Haus Labs powder. I also think this looks really natural on the skin. So if it's a day where, again, I'm using like concealer to spot conceal and I'm not going in with foundation, I'll usually set it with this product too because it doesn't look like I'm wearing a heavy powder on the skin. It just lightly sets everything. Okay, the last product that I wanted to talk about is this one from Rose Inc. So I probably wouldn't have purchased this on my own, but I got it in a Sephora favorite set. And I'm glad I did because it's gorgeous. It's their lip and cheek color in the shade Delphine. I have worn this so much. You know what? I would say the formula is maybe a little bit similar to this Makeup by Mario formula. The Makeup by Mario formula is maybe like slightly thinner, a little bit more natural, whereas this has like a little bit of substance to it. So I do feel like this one maybe lasts on the skin a little bit better, but it can also have the tendency to look slightly heavier if you over apply it. So again, I'm telling you, if you tend to over apply blush and you don't want that heavy look, try this one. But this looks amazing on the skin. Like it definitely gives you a gorgeous dewy finish and it's very creamy, very comfortable to wear. It blends out easily. You can layer it up and it looks gorgeous that way too. And I've been enjoying it so much. It's been fun to just kind of discover some new cream formulas because I feel like I tried a lot of cream formulas in like the beginning of 2022. And then it's been a while since I've really fallen in love with some other ones. So these two have been big standouts for me. So that's everything I wanted to share with you in today's video. All of my favorite products of 2023 so far. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I can't wait to see what the brands launch during the second half of the year because I feel like sometimes that's when I discover like my all-time favorites of the year. Don't forget to click the link in the description box below to try out Dramatica. You can use the code Andrea10 to get your first month completely free and then 10% off your second month. Thanks again to Dramatica for sponsoring today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you very soon with a new one. Bye.